Hey there, I'm Jess Byrnes. Welcome to the Jess Byrnes Show. This is where ambition meets alignment. I'm a VA coach, business strategist, and freedom mentor, and I help service-based women unleash their power, scale beyond booked out, and step into their CEO era. Expect real talk, practical strategies, and inspiring conversations with women who've built businesses on their terms. If you're ready to create more freedom, more income, and more impact, this is the space for you.
Hello. All right, take 3, because technology and Facebook Lives and inviting guests does not want to play. It's funny though, whenever I just go live and am chatting, I get all these requests and people are constantly asking to join and all the things keep happening. So I don't know why it wasn't working today, but we roll with the punches here and crack on. I'm just going to get my phone out of my trusty tripod, which is now not working. That's great. Cool. All right. So we are chatting with the amazing Emma today, who's based in WA. I'm very lucky to have clients. I think I'm nearly in every state at the moment. So with daylight savings, it's great because everyone has a different time zone. Calendars are my best friend because then we are all on the same page. But I am really excited and wanted to chat to Emma today to share a little bit of her journey because it really, I could talk about it all day long of how I have done things for myself and what VA business looks like and the challenges we face. But there is added value, I guess, hearing other people's stories, and Emma's is pretty cool too. So I wanted to bring her in and have a chat. Emma, did you want to quickly give us a bit of a rundown of who you are and what you do?
As Jess has said, my name is Emma. I own and run Coastal VA Solutions. And a lot of what I do is around compliance. So making sure you're ready for that audit, making sure that you know where all your documents are, where you're at with your licensing. A little bit about me. I actually studied marine and environmental science before moving in and finding a job in agriculture. So totally fields that totally make sense. And then while I was working in agriculture, that's where I really picked up the compliance baton and have been running with that ever since, to the point that I have my own business based around it. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Which hasn't actually always been the case. So, when we met, it was a very interesting conversation. And I vividly remember the conversation around, Jess, this is what I'm doing and this is what I'm charging, but I don't really want to be doing this. And then we dived into your whole background and what you're amazing at. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. Like you're essentially really selling yourself short here. So where did you, what were you offering when we first met? Where did it start?
So what I was offering was kind of your general admin job. So it was like, sorting through people's emails. It was calendars. It was, all of those. And I say general admin because they are important, but it's just not what I was passionate in. Not what I'm passionate in at all. There is a little bit of an element where there is a little bit of that in compliance, but it's not the whole story. It's a teeny tiny portion as opposed to all day, every day.
Well, and I guess the component of general admin as such, and from a compliance perspective, is how to keep records and how they're stored and security and what this looks like for a business, opposed to actually managing someone's accounts and emails and things as a PAEA role. Which, whilst you can, doesn't mean you should. And that's one of the biggest sayings, and Emma will know that I sound like a broken record because she's heard it a bunch of times. I almost feel like there's a jar that I have to put $1 in every time I say this, but it is true. Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And as long as you're making a decision about what you offer and who you offer it to in an empowered way. So if someone came to you in an industry that you are dying to work in, or you are really interested in and passionate about, and offered you something like that, you get to make that decision from that empowered place, not from, well, this is kind of all I know and what I'm good at. So I guess from that initial conversation, we started to dive in of okay, well, let's change direction and see what this looks like. Now, you were also in a job at the time when we started and joined Freedom Unlocked. And I wanted to touch on a little bit of that process, I guess, and what that journey has looked like for you.
Yeah. So it's been quite it's been a journey. It's been a it's been a journey. It's so at the time I was in a job where I was effectively working myself out of a job. You know, I was the compliance officer in this business, and I was rostered on 2 days a week, and across a fortnight I might do 1 morning or 2 mornings worth of actual compliance work, and then the rest of the time I was finding stuff to do. At the same time, there was a whole bunch of disconnect between the business and the public, and what was acceptable to the general public, to the point that there were actually threats made to the staff in the middle of shopping centres, like you. And so it got to a point where it's like, actually, I don't need this. My family doesn't need this. I was stressed out beyond, you know, I was so stressed out because of that situation that was leaking into everything. And I was interviewing, looking for stuff elsewhere, and someone just said to me one day, and actually it was my father-in-law said to me one day, going, why don't you start your own? Why don't you do your own thing and go from there? And I did, and it's gone from there. I was within 5 months of starting my business, I was out.
Yeah. And so it was a bit of a slow strategic move. So we weren't really like gung-ho, let's do this, because there was a few other things at play. And even that in itself, since you've started and had clients and, you know, you're doing all these wonderful things, has changed. So, you know, unfortunately, your husband's role had changed, and he then was required to look for work, then, you know, making you the sole breadwinner. Moved into a different industry completely, but now there's a lot of doors opening and opportunities in that space. You've got a beautiful little man who is so much fun and joins us on our calls, who has had, you know, the countless runs of daycare illnesses requiring you to be home. But I wanted to touch on, like, what does life look like now, and how has this business changed and morphed in those scenarios? Because it doesn't look like when you were employed.
I just had the realization of just how much life has changed. And it's all changed for the better. There's been lots of lessons learned along the way. Probably the biggest thing for us is that so hubby, he has lots of meetings with groups based out of the UK, with groups based out of America. So he's in the astrophysics field. So there's a lot of networking and collaboration across different groups worldwide. And so that does mean that he's often on meetings at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And so that whole shift has changed as well. So for us, the biggest thing is we've actually had to learn to be flexible with each other's schedules. So it's, you've got a meeting at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, cool. I won't book that face-to-face that's 40 minutes away. oh, I've got an event that I'm going to that I'm working at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the afternoon that is 40 minutes away. Okay, you need to look after the little man.
Yeah.
And it's having that flex, having that grace with each other. And you know what? If our schedules don't align, we are in a very fortunate position where we have a lot of people supporting us. And so we have a lot of people that we can actually call on and go, hey, look, this doesn't happen very often, but our schedules are just clashing so much this week. Yep. And we actually need someone to look after Henry on Wednesday night, on Thursday night, so that we can both go do our things.
Yeah.
So that we can both say yes to what we need to say yes to. And sometimes it does mean saying no to a client. And you know what? Sometimes that's the case.
Yeah.
But because of the clients I have on board, that's okay.
Yeah. And they know, right? Yeah, they know.
Yeah, they know I've got a 3-year-old little boy who is non-stop all day, every day. They know if he's homesick, he's my priority.
Yep.
So that's probably been the biggest thing. It's just, the biggest change has been the flex in our schedules for each other.
Yep.
Having that group calendar, like you were saying before with the different time zones, having that group calendar to go, oh, we've got, hubby's got that reoccurring meeting that happens every 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it is. Yep. And it starts at 5 and odds are it runs late.
Yeah.
Cool. That tells me how I book my day that day.
Yeah. So it's clear communication, having that flexibility, knowing what you can and can't do. And as you said, I think it's boundary setting too with clients and with partners. It's a huge thing that you're up front and you say, hey, Mr. Client or Miss Client, this is what it looks like. Have a 3-year-old, here's a daycare. And some clients, it's unacceptable. And we get that. Like that makes sense. But in this phase of life right now, this is what it is. And 99% of them are okay with it. Yes. Again, put another $1 in the jar, but no one's going to die if it's pushed back by a day or if, you have to change a deadline. And as I think it's more around your integrity and how you address it is actually the really powerful part.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to ask you, because I hear it all the time and I have constant conversations with people that are still on the fence and not really sure and should I do it? And, because it's not a small investment, but the reality is we're taking what you know and turning it into a full business that you can repeat the systems and strategies over and over again. What would you say to someone who's potentially sitting on the fence of starting their VA business or even joining 6-figure frequency? What would your advice to them be?
Do it. Do it. That would be my advice is do it, ask the questions, talk to the people. It's, like in a year and a half, I went from, it's just kind of something I'm doing to see if I can get out to I've got out of my old workplace. I've got the flexibility to move my schedule around as I need. It's not dictated to me by someone else. I've got the support where I need it to be able to make those decisions. And you know what? I get to decide which client I bring on. I get to decide which client I don't bring on. I've said no to people.
Which
because
initially is scary as hell.
It's scary. It's so scary. Even sending my first invoice was scary. I spent 20 minutes writing the damn thing.
Yep.
It was a 2-line invoice. It had 2 line items, 20 minutes. And it took me 20 minutes to send it. And then I curled up in a ball on my bed.
Yep.
That was my first invoice sending.
Yep. And then you put a post in the group and we're all excited and celebrating and yay, and we got our first payment and it's done, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like absolutely do it. You don't know where it's going to take you. You don't know what it's going to look like. My offerings look completely different to what they did 18 months ago.
Yeah.
My plans have, it was just going to be a little business to business service provider.
Yeah.
Little income generator, and that was kind of it. And
here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are. Multiple clients, multiple packages in an area that you love and are passionate about and can't wait to get up every day.
With people who appreciate what I'm doing.
And a baby that gets to see you, because that's really important too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. It's been fun. And I'm sure if anyone has questions and wants to ask you in the group, you're in the free group as well. Like, again, that free group, like, ask your questions. Like, don't be scared. It is the most undervalued place. Like, I'm happy to jump in and answer any questions that anyone has. And I'm sure Emma and Beck and any of the other girls are more than happy to as well.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, lovely. And I will see you a little bit later.
That you will.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on the Jess Byrnes Show. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And I'd love to invite you to come and hang out in my free Facebook community for service-based women stepping into their CEO energy. Please feel free also to leave a review, as this will help other amazing women just like you find us on your preferred podcast channel. Until next time, stay empowered and totally unleashed.